Welcome back, YouTubers. Thank you for joining me. Today, I am working on a 2010 Honda Accord. This is the 2.4 liter, not the V6. This is the 4-cylinder. Then remove all the spark plugs and ignition coils. I've already done that in the previous video. I'm going to remove the valve covers and these two clamps. 1, 2. This one's to the brake booster. Then this one's to the intake pipe. Just a breather. And then you're gonna have these two 10 millimeters bolts right here, little small ones right here on the side. You got one here, and you got one there. You know, take them off. It's holding this bracket onto the valve cover. So I'm gonna try to work at it, show you guys. But as you guys can see, it's already loose. This bracket's loose. I'll show you guys. See, it's loose. I have already loosened everything. Then when you remove these hold down nuts, it's cap nuts or whatever you want to call them, there's gonna be these grommets on here too. Don't lose these grommets. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back here, 6 back there. So a total of 6 of these rubber grommets, metal cap rubber grommets. So that's how you're gonna remove the valve cover. So, and then move the dipstick. And then I'm gonna set the camera down so I can remove all the grommets and lift up the valve cover. And you also want to move this power steering line. I have already done that. It's a 10 millimeter. It's held in right here. I just pushed it back behind the sway bar. So it's going to get in the way of the valve cover. But once you move all this, the valve cover should just pick up if you have to. If it gets stuck, you know, get something like a screwdriver or some pry bar or something. Wedge the seal here. It's going to be sealed all the way around from factory, and the old seal, valve cover seal. When you put the new valve cover on, make sure you change out the seal. You never use the old seal unless it's, you know, you barely used it like a week ago, but I always change it. After you remove your valve cover, your camshafts, everything's exposed now. So next thing you want to do, remove the serpentine belt. This is your serpentine belt right here. It's on the power steering pulley. This is a power steering pulley. The power steering, the pulley itself. The belt is this one. Get yourself your serpentine tool or a long ratchet. You might want to remove this power steering reservoir. It might get in the way. So what I do is this little tab back there, squeeze. It's locked in, but pull up. You know, just hold it or get it to the side, and then see how now it's loose, because they made this fitting right here a little too long, so it's like right in the way, and I don't want to break the reservoir. This tip right here, the return line, I don't want to break it. So I just got it out of the way like this, and then you grab your long extension or a serpentine belt tool, and it's going to be a 14 millimeter nut. The serpentine is going to be the tensioner. It's going to be that one right there, right under the power steering. So this is your power steering, right under that one, right there with my fingers. I'm sorry guys, it's a little dark. And then what you want to do is go to the right, like if you're tightening the bolt, because if you go loose left, you're gonna loosen up the nut that holds the bearing or the pulley of the tensioner. We don't want to do that. So we want to go right. Once you go right, if you notice, the belt will get loose. Watch, I'll show you guys. The belt's gonna get loose. See, the belt's already loose. Like that, you see? Once the belt is loose, like that, then you can take off your belt. I only have one hand, but I'm gonna set the phone down, and then as I'm holding like this, I'm gonna take the belt off. But I just want to show you guys for demonstration. Okay? So if you're looking at it from the front of the engine, not the front of the car, front of the engine, this is the front. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to the right, tight. Whenever I do serpentine belts and I know that I have to replace them or take them off or reuse them, I always like to draw it out. A lot of people is going to say, yo, you could just look it up online, look on Identifix, whatever. I like to do myself a favor and draw it out. Save myself time, headache, misleading information. Just draw it out. And I drew it out. This is the crankshaft, AC pulley, water pump, alternator, tensioner, and power steering. This is the one that we were pulling. This one. You want to pull it to the right, and then it'll loosen up the belt. I hope this helped, guys. Once you get your belt off, serpentine belt, you want to remove the power steering pump itself. Just get it out of the way, because we have to work in this area, the front cover area. We're actually going to remove the whole front cover, so you got to drain the oil, remove the motor mount and stuff like that. But we're going to start off with the power steering pump. You got these 2 bolts right here, 14 millimeter, 1/4. Right there, this one, it's already loose. And then right under the power steering, that one above the alternator, that one right there, 14 millimeter, that one. So the tensioner is that one, the shiny one. This is the power steering. That's the alternator. And that's the bolt we want to get right there. 14 millimeter. I've already gotten them loose. I'm going to go ahead and work on this one. You guys see where my hand is? There he goes. One. Second one. Down here. Reach down here. Do the same thing. Lefty loosey. Righty tighty. So guys, I'm fighting this one hand. Yes, it'll come off. I'm trying to fight this, guys. I'm trying to one hand. And like I said, once it comes off, you just want to, you know, just, man, it's on there. But you just want to, it's coming. See, guys? Then once it comes off, you just want to set the power steering to the side. Mine's a little tough right now. It's loose all the way already, but yeah. You guys can see it's coming out. It's taking a minute though. There it goes. The second bolt. Sorry it took a second. I was fighting the weight of the pump. Pump is loose. Like I said, this is the AC line. This is the low pressure. It says right there, L, high. Even the knobs or the caps are small. I mean, they're different sizes, big, small. But you just want to get the power steering pump, get out of the way, okay? Just get out of the way, get the reservoir out of the way. We're gonna work in this area. Next, you're gonna want to remove the belt tensioner. This is the serpentine belt tensioner itself. It's held in by 2 12 millimeter bolts. This one in the center, it's deep in there, so you're gonna need to get a socket in there. I've already extracted it, unbolted it. It's already loose. And you got this nut right there, 12 millimeter nut also. There it is. So you guys can see it's loose. Here it comes. This is the long one. Tensioner is out. I'm gonna set it to the side. We're gonna keep on going. You want to remove the passenger side engine mount. These are gonna be a 17 millimeter, 1/7. It's gonna be one here. The other one's back there. If you guys can see right there, my finger is. Okay. Then You got this top one. You got the other top one right here. Those four are 17. This one's also a 17. This is just to, you know, hold it swivel, but I loosened it. I did not take it off. I just loosened it. And then back here, you have a 10 millimeter. This is your ground, engine ground. I want to go ahead and just loosen it, take it off. Push the ground to the side. And then you got these 4 17 millimeter. There's the bolts. Remember where the long one? The long one goes over there. The short one comes over here, this side, closest to the front of the car. Okay. There you go. It's out. Engine on is out. Right there. Okay. I'm just gonna set this here for now until until we move forward to the bracket and stuff like that. But I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna let the customer know this is leaking. It's leaking. Probably they should replace this mount. After you have removed the engine mount, then we want to remove the engine bracket. This is the engine bracket. It's already loose. It's held in by 3 of these 14 millimeter bolts. They're pretty long. Word of advice, the one in the back here is gonna hit the bracket or the frame right here. So your best bet is to loosen them all up at the same time, like this, and I'll show you guys, and pull them all out at the same time. Because if you try to pull them out one by one, I'll show you guys like this. This one's gonna hit the one in the back. If I can show you guys, see, it hits. But it's weird if you pull them all out at the same time and you slide the bracket, it'll come out. I'll show you guys. See, it hits like that, but then if you could see, then you can slide out. The first thing you want to do is locate your battery. The battery is this one. This is the driver's side. There is a battery bracket. I have taken it off already. It's in the back of the car. It's usually held in by 10 millimeters and the 2 J hooks. Like I said, we have already taken it off, removed them. I'm gonna show you guys how to remove the battery. First thing you want to do is remove the positive terminals. You always remove the positive. These are held in by 10 millimeters right here, 10 millimeter bolts. Always start with the positive. Then you release the negative, remove the negative. Then you could pull the battery up and out, just like that. Then you're gonna have this battery tray right here. It's held in by that plastic, but you're gonna want to remove this battery tray, and then we're gonna go after this intake right here, the intake pipe in the box. But let me remove this battery tray and then we'll continue forward. This is the engine air box. You got a mass airflow sensor here. Squeeze, pull up. You got 3 clips, one here, second one here. The third one is behind the mass airflow sensor. I've already unlocked it. Then you got this clamp right here, this breather hose. You can either remove the whole breather hose. I think I'm just gonna move it from down here, if you follow it. And then this clamp right here, it's already loose. Right there. Pick up, pull. Like I said, I'm just gonna probably just remove it from there, but I'm gonna set the camera down and remove the pipe. Then you have this air box. the bottom piece to the air box. It's held in by 2 of these 10mm bolts. You got one here, you got the other one up there. Okay, go left to loosen. There, just pick up, get it out. We'll keep on going forward. We have this radiator cover, this plastic cover. You want to go ahead and remove it. There's going to be a bunch of these plastic clips that goes in here. You want to get your flathead screwdriver or like a trim panel tool and just slowly work at it. If they break, replace them. Then we could gain access to the radiator. I'm gonna set this on the floor. This is your radiator right here. I have already drained it. This is your radiator support. It's held in by 2 10mm on the passenger side. Then you have this air ducting that goes into the pipe, the main intake pipe to the intake manifold. We're gonna go ahead and remove that. Then you got this other bracket on the driver's side, 10mm also, 2 bolts. Go ahead and remove those. I am under the vehicle. This right here is the radiator support. This right here is the subframe. Between the radiator support, the lower radiator support right here, this is the lower radiator support. I'm under the car. This would be the passenger side. On the passenger side, you're gonna find this white knob right here. It's to drain and release coolant. This is your radiator. Turn it to the left, and radiator should drain from there. I have already drained it. And then once you drain it, just go ahead and put this back in so you don't lose it. Right to tight, left to loose. You guys can hear the seal. It's in. I'm under the radiator, the car. This is the passenger side. This would be your radiator drain right here. Turn left, go left to drain. You can pull this plug out also. Then here's your transmission cooler lines. You got this one, use a clamp, pull it back. And you got this one, use a clamp, pull it back. Then you got this radiator hose right here, use a clamp also. Then you got this sensor right here. There's a sensor right here. Squeeze and pull. I'm gonna try to do it right here. If I can't, I'll put the camera down and I'll do it. But this sensor has to come off. This clamp. This transmission hose. You have to drain the radiator and that transmission hose. The radiator is loose. You have this clamp on the upper radiator hose. You want to remove that like so. Then you have these 2 fans right here. One's the AC and the other one's the radiator fan. There's these 2 harness plugs. One's on this side in the middle and the other one's on the driver's side down here. Your easiest way to get those 2 harness plugs is from under the car. Once you unplug those 2 harness wires, when you undo the transmission lines and the bottom radiator hose, do them all at the same time. Then your radiator is loose. You guys can see. You guys can just pick up and pull out. I'm gonna set the camera down and I'm gonna pull the radiator out. You wanna remove this battery bracket, this plate. It's held on by 4 12mm bolts. You got 4 of them. One here, one there, And you got two hidden ones under here, holding this bracket on to this frame. Then this will just pick up and come out. As you guys can see, it's already loose. Just gonna remove this power wire. It should come out. We'll get out of the car. I'm going to remove these two transmission hoses off the transmission just to get it out of the way. You got one clamp here, the other clamp there. Then if you follow it, there's gonna be a little bracket right here. It's held in by a 10 millimeter over there. You keep on going. It's also held in by a 10 millimeter bolt right there. Go ahead and loosen those and just pull that line out. Then this is your lower radiator hose. Go straight into your thermostat housing. This is the clamp that holds it in. Get a pick or something, pick it out. Make sure you don't lose it. Just pull, wiggle, it'll come out. Get out of the way. Then you got this harness wire to the AC. Squeeze, pull, come out. This one to the alternator. Squeeze, pull, like that. You got this wire right here to the alternator, the main one. The ground, it's a 10 millimeter, lefty loosey, righty tighty. I've already loosened it. As you guys can see, my wire is already loose. And then we're gonna go after the alternator, and we're gonna go after the AC compressor. To remove the alternator, you have a 12 millimeter bolt up here, lefty loose, righty tighty. And then if you follow the alternator under here, under the pulley here, there's gonna be a 14 millimeter bolt. 14. And I have already loosened both bolts. You guys can see my alternator is loose. It's not completely loose, but it is loose. So I'm gonna continue pulling the alternator. See if you guys can see, it's already loose. The bottom bolt is like down here. 14 millimeter. 12 on top, 14 on the bottom. Then your alternator should just come out. Now I'm going to remove the AC compressor. If you have an AC machine and you want to get the whole AC compressor out of the car itself, go ahead and do that. Extract the freon, and then once you extract the freon, you can unbolt these two hoses, the main lines, the high pressure and the low pressure lines. They're held in by 10 millimeters. But I don't think I'm gonna take out the AC compressor. I think I'm just gonna set it to the side since we already got the radiator out. The AC compressor itself is held in by two of these 12 millimeter bolts. You got one right there, and then the other one's right there. 12 millimeter, 2 millimeter. Okay. Then on the bottom side of the AC compressor, there's two more 12 millimeter bolts. I will show you guys. I am under the car. This is the passenger side. This is the AC compressor itself. You got two bolts here held in by 12 millimeters right there. 12 millimeter bolts. That one and that one. They're gonna be long bolts. You have to get it with the wrench, gear wrench, or combination box end. So as you guys can see, mine's already loose. See, they're a little long. And then this one's gonna hit. Hopefully I can get it out. Nope. So you can get it out when you pull the two bolts on top. I am under the vehicle. I'm looking at the transmission. This is your transmission drain. It takes a 3/8 ratchet just the head of the ratchet, 3/8. Go left to loosen, right to tight. Then over here, this is your shifting cable. It goes in here to your transmission. You're going to want to remove this transmission shifting cable cover. It's held in by 3 of these 10mm bolts. You got one here, one there, the other one right there. Once you remove this cover, you can remove the shifting cable. The shifting cable cover is off. This is the shifting cable itself. It's held in by 2 of these 10mm bolts. See right there, 1, 2. I have already loosened them. I'm gonna try to get it right now to show you guys. Get this one. You got this one. Like I said, it's already loose. Then if you follow the linkage to the transmission itself, you have this one right there. This is a locking tab. This piece right here was bent over and it was locking this little bolt. It's a 10mm, but it's already loose. I have already loosened it, as you guys can see. Do not lose this locking tab and little itty bitty bolt. I can't stress how important it is. Right there, you guys can see. Then the linkage just slides over and out. Like that. The transmission is in neutral. You cannot get this screw or this little bolt when the car is in park. You have to put it in neutral. Then you undo these 2 bolts right there. Then the shifting cable should just come off the transmission. I am back under the vehicle. This is the transmission. Then this is the engine itself. As you guys can see, it says engine oil. We're going to remove this transmission cover right here. This cover. This is the torque converter cover. We have to remove it because there's some torque converter bolts in here that we need to loosen up. You have to remove these bolts in order to remove the transmission and engine when you split it and put the new engine on or new transmission on. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Once you remove the flywheel torque converter cover, you're going to have these 10mm bolts in here. You rotate the engine by the crankshaft, go clockwise, or have somebody on the outside do it. You're going to have these bolts in there. 10mm. Take them out, all of them. Don't lose them. Go left. Left to loose, right to tight. Keep on going. These 2 power wires right here to the main computer, I have color coded them myself, red and yellow, just so I don't mix it up whenever I go back, put the new engine in. Also, these 2 hoses, the coolant hoses, I went ahead and colored them yellow and red so I don't mix them up. Then if you go over here to the injectors, I have already pulled the injectors, the harness. This one goes to this valve right here. You got 4 harness wires to the injectors. You got 2 ground, this ground here And then this other ground here, they're held in by 10 millimeters. And then if you follow the harness, this one goes to the main box. There's also another one. If you follow this one, there's a harness plug right here. Squeeze, unclip. I marked it red so I don't mix it up. Then there's this harness right here. Squeeze the gray tab, pull. There you go. There's a bracket here held in by 10 millimeter bolts. Take it off. If you follow this harness, keep on going. There's a few of these clips right here held onto the frame. Undo that. Then here's your ECU module, your main electronic control module. It's held in by 3 of these 10 millimeter bolts. You got one here, and you got 2 down here. There's gonna be a plastic cover. You pop off the plastic cover, and then there's 3 bolts. I have already loosened them. Just like that. Flip the computer over. This is the main harness that we're talking about. You're gonna have these 3 plugs, but we're not gonna mess with this one. We're only gonna mess with these 2. If you guys see, these 2 are connected to this one harness wire. You're gonna squeeze and pull back. You have to kind of do 2 things at the same time. Squeeze, pull back. I used a screwdriver, 2 screwdrivers, 2 flathead screwdrivers, just like this. And then this one, same thing, just like that. You guys can see it's already coming. It's just seized on there. Sorry guys. And I'm doing this one hand, I'm sorry. Be careful with the computer. If you want to take off the computer, which I am, I'm going to take the whole computer off. And then I'm going to set it inside so I don't damage the needles. These needles. There's a bunch of needles in here. And then we'll keep on going forward to get this engine out. Behind the engine here, passenger side, I went ahead and unplugged all the sensors back here. I'm gonna try to get it out. There you guys go. These are all the sensors to this actuator back here, and to the oxygen sensor, and to the NOx sensor. As you guys can see, this is the NOx sensor. I'm just gonna throw the harness over, so when I do get ready to pull the engine, it doesn't get caught up. Then I did the fuel line here. It's just a green clip right here. Squeeze and pull. Then this hose right here, it's just a clamp. I went ahead and removed the main fuse box. Get it out of the way. Behind the engine is the exhaust manifold. We're gonna remove the exhaust manifold off the cylinder head, but before we can remove the exhaust manifold, we have to remove the oxygen sensor. I have already unclipped it from the harness itself. Then in order to remove the oxygen sensor, you will need a special socket. I got this set off of Amazon. The kit is this 57110 oxygen sensors socket set. It's a whole set, so it's not just one. I mean, if you want to buy just one, that's fine, but I got the whole set. It comes in 3 pieces right here. I'm gonna use this one for this car. This one is a 22 millimeter. the part number once again, 57110-A, and it goes in here. It's like this. Perfect. If you guys notice, the slit is because the wire, just like that. I've already loosened it. You guys can see this tool works great. There's the oxygen sensor. Once you removed your oxygen sensor, then you go ahead and remove the heat cover. This is just a heat cover to the exhaust manifold. It's held on by 3 of these 12mm bolts. Then on the exhaust manifold itself, it's also held in by 4 of these 12mm nuts, like this. There's 2 on top, 1, 2, there's 2 on the bottom, 3, and 4. The 4th one's on the other side. Then after you have unbolted all that, go under the car, like this, under the car. Go to the exhaust pipe right here. This is the exhaust manifold oil filter. This is the exhaust pipe. And then loosen up, take off these 2 12mm bolts, spring loaded. Then you can pull your exhaust manifold now. See how there's room now? Now you can pull and remove your exhaust manifold. Okay. The engine is ready to come out. I have loosened up and removed this driver's side transmission mount. It was I'll show you guys in a little bit. It was 14mm on top of here, 3 of them. Then 3 17mm right here. Then I went around and loosened up the front motor mount. Removed all the bolts. This is from before, 17mm. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is on the other side. Let's go around. The motor mount, I've already removed it because we were doing some other things on the side. Then we found out that was a bad engine. The back motor mount, this one. So I went ahead and loosened up 4 of those mounting bracket bolts. There's 4 of them, 1 the other side and 2 is on the bottom. And then it gives you enough free play to remove the big long bolt that goes on top in the middle. This one goes all the way through, 17mm. My word of advice, loosen up 4 of these bolts. There's gonna be 1 right here, the other one's like right there, and then there's 2 more on the bottom. That way it gives you free play to move this out. But yes, the motor is ready to come out. And then you just want to go around the whole engine bay, double check everything is loose. Nothing's gonna get caught up. Wires, harness. Then set up your engine hoist right here and pull up. Oh, and you also have a bottom. There's a transmission mount on the bottom too. It's a little one. But yes, I'm gonna pull the engine out and then I'll walk you right through it. The engine is out. I still have it on the hoist, and I have it sitting on 3 jack stands just for safety. Safety first, guys. And then what you want to do is go around to all the bell housing bolts. Just start loosening them. In order to get this one, there was a harness in the way. This one right here. So you just squeeze and pull. Then it's held in by these 10mm right here. 1, 2. And then another one for this bracket on top. Just 10mm, 3 of them. Swing the harness out of the way. Then you go around. You got a total of 9, I think 9 bolts. But the 2 bottom ones are going to be 14mm. Right, 14mm. These are the ones holding the oil pan. Right there. Okay? So go around. Take your time. And go around. Like there's another one right there. This is your starter. You're gonna have to remove your intake manifold, which is this one. This is the front of the engine. Then you got a few more. You guys can see the starter bolts coming through. You got this one. And you got the last one right there, 14 millimeter. Like I said, this is the front of the car. This is the intake manifold. Do not take the bolts out, just loosen them. If you do take the bolts out, be careful because the transmission and engine will split. This would be the front engine mount. These 4 bolts, there's 4 of them, you guys can see. The other 2 is on the other side, left and right, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. This would be the front of the engine or the front of the car. They're all 17 millimeter bolts. This one, and this one. They mount into the block. This is the rear engine mount, as you guys can see. All these are 17 millimeters. There's going to be a total of 5, but 4 is on the engine itself. You got the 2 top ones, those 2. You got the 2 lower ones, and then this long one. This is the long one that goes across the motor mount and the bracket. Then it goes right here on the back of the engine, just like this. Okay. This is the driver's side. This is the transmission right here. This would be the transmission mount itself. The mount itself, these right there, those 3 bolts are 17 millimeters. They mount into the transmission right there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then these bolts right here, 1, 2, 3. Those are 14 millimeters. They mount onto the frame itself. Next, you want to remove the intake manifold. This is the intake manifold. This would be the front of the car. I have already removed the throttle body. We are going to use the old original throttle body, which is this one. It's held in by 4 of these 14 millimeter bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you got this breather hose right here. This vacuum hose right here. Undo the clamp, remove it, the harness to the injectors, squeeze and pull all of them. You got 2 grounds. Let's see, this harness wire right here, I'm just gonna pull the thermostat with the harness. It goes under the intake manifold here. You got this bracket that holds the intake manifold. It's 3 12 millimeter. This is the bolt. These are 2 nuts. Remove that, get that out of the way. 10 millimeter bolt. Get that out of the way. And then the intake manifold itself, it's held on by 6 of these 12 millimeter bolts. You got 1 here, 2 there, 3rd one right there, 4th one right there. Then the 5th one is hidden in here. Then the 6th one is that one right there. Then the intake manifold, half of it should come off, the plastic part, because we need to get to the starter. The starter is right here. I got the intake manifold off. This is the starter. This is what I was telling you guys about earlier. This is one of the bolt that holds the starter onto the transmission and engine. Then there's another bolt back here, if you guys can see, the long one. A lot of people is going to say you don't have to remove the intake manifold, which I understand, but I want to give everybody at home a thorough explanation. Yeah, that there's a harness wire back here, and this bolt, yes, it is long enough. You can get it with the extension because it is this long from here to here. It's just I want to show everybody what under the intake manifold looks like. Then this is your thermostat housing and your thermostat, as you guys can see. But I'm going to take all this harness off and I'm going to remove the starter. The starter, this one is a 17 millimeter, and this one in the back is a 14 millimeter. That one right there. The starter bolt is a 12 millimeter. Go left. Left to loose, right to tight. On top of the engine here, before you split the transmission, you want to remove all the sensors here on this side of the engine, which would be the driver's side of the engine. These are your camshaft position sensors. Unplug those. You got a bracket here with all your fuel lines. This is your fuel injector harness. Just move it over. And then just make sure all these harness, there's a few more down here also. Just go around and unplug them. And then remove this bracket. I got the starter off. I'm gonna lift up the engine, remove the jack stands, set the engine on the floor gently, go around the bell housing, remove the remaining 17 millimeter bolts, and then I'm gonna split the transmission and the engine. It should, and it will split. The engine and transmission is split. I kept the harness on the transmission. Then if you guys notice, the engine is bare. We're gonna put the new engine and transmission and the old transmission together. Then I'm gonna use the OEM from this car: fuel injector, throttle body, sensors, computer, all the other stuff. This is the new engine. I have verified it. It is the same engine as the one that came out of the car. This is the JDM engine. We are going to use this engine. We're just stripping it down right now. We're going to do the throttle body, fuel injectors, and we're going to use our starter and replace some of the hoses, because when it came from the dismantle place, they cut a bunch of these hoses. This one goes under the manifold, so got to replace that. We're going to use our alternator. So this is how I would set up and install my transmission onto my new engine. This is the new engine. This is the old original transmission. What I did was I hooked it up. I used the engine hoist, and then this is the factory what is it? Pickup bracket, lift bracket, support bracket. I hooked it up there, and then I used a floor jack on this side of the transmission just to help even it out, because this side is going to be heavy. Then once I get it up to where it's nice and level, you want to make sure all the harness wires are clear, because you don't want to pinch a harness wire and damage anything when you're putting the transmission and engine together. I just strap the engine onto the pallet like this so it doesn't go anywhere. Then I have tightened 2 or 3 bolts, one on this side and 2 on the other side. I'm gonna put one more just for support. And then I'm gonna pick up the engine, move the pallet, slowly set the engine on the floor, and then I'm gonna hook up the harness wires, all the harness plugs, put it all back together to the ignition coil, to the oxygen sensor. I didn't take no transmission harness off, 0, so I don't have to mess with the transmission. And then this is the back side of the engine. This would be the front side towards the front of the car. We're going to use the original injectors and the original throttle body and the original let me go on this side. We're going to use the original starter from this car, the original alternator from this car. We're going to use the original spool valve that's on this car. So let me finish prepping the engine, then we're gonna set the engine back into the car. As you guys can see, it's empty. This is the spool valve, the variable valve timing spool valve. This is the JDM one from Japan. This is the USDM one. This is the one that we need, the one that we're gonna use for in America. If you guys noticed, they are different. And you will need to change the gasket. Once you take this off, the gasket is damaged. This is the old one, and it's also nice and flat from heat and years of usage. The new one is right here. This is the part number VVS 907. Variable valve timing solenoid gasket. I'm going to clean it off. Insert it like that. Then it goes here on this part of the engine. This is the back side, the exhaust manifold. So it would go like that. The old starter, the original starter from this car is on, tightened down, the 14 millimeter, the 17 millimeter, this 12 millimeter right here, the power supply nut, and this signal wire. Then I advised the driver to use a new thermostat. They said just go ahead and we're going to reuse the old thermostat. I recommend changing. Then we're using the old, the original from this car injectors. As you guys can see, it's still loose. They're not tightened down yet. I swapped them over. I'm gonna put 4 rags in here. I'm gonna cover it because I'm not gonna install the intake manifold yet until we get towards the end, because I don't want the intake manifold getting in the way. I want as much room as possible. And I'm not gonna put the AC compressor on or the alternator on yet. Like I said, we're gonna drop the engine in. We're gonna drop the engine in. Once we drop the engine in, then I'll start connecting everything. But as of now, transmission is tight, harness is on, spool valve is tight. I'm gonna lower the engine down into the engine bay. This is the rear motor mount bracket. As you guys can see, it's still loose. I'm gonna leave it loose because we need the free play, but I'm gonna use this rear bracket as the guide so I can line up my rear motor mount. This is the transmission mount that sits on the subframe right here. Okay, it's held in by two of these 14mm nuts on the bottom right here, and then 14mm bolts. It bolts onto the transmission. Okay. The new engine is almost in. If you guys can see it, it's still just hanging, but it's lowered. It's almost in. Now's the time, if you want to, put your front motor mount in. It's still loose. I'm just using it as a guide. It is broken. I did let the driver know. They said they'll come back to it in the future. That's fine. Yes, but we're gonna use this mount and the rear mount as a guide, and then also the transmission mount, the lower one, that's also going to be a guide. So once we get close, I'm gonna start bolting all three down, but first things first, I want to line up the one in the back. Let me show you guys. If you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see back here, but see right there, it's close. You guys can't tell, but I can. It's close. So I'm gonna lower it, guide it, and then put the bolt in. This is the lower transmission mount I was telling you guys about. It's only two of these 14mm bolts, and then the mount sits on the subframe here. Two 14mm nuts, one here and the other one here. So as you lower the transmission down, you use this as a guide also. And then the transmission, everything should just sit nice and flush. Next, you want to put the AC compressor back on. It's going to be 4 of these 12mm bolts. You got one here, then you got the other one over here, you got 2 on the bottom. My word of advice, before you hang or tighten up the AC compressor, install the 2 bottom bolts first. And there's going to be 4 bolts, 2 long ones and 2 short ones. The long ones are going to be the top ones, and then the short ones are going to be the bottom ones. So the long ones go on top. Okay, then plug your harness back in like so. There it goes. We should have power when you turn the AC back on. I am under the vehicle. This is the transmission. This is the new engine, as you guys can see. It says right here, engine oil. This is the flywheel or the flex plate and the torque converter. You want to go back down here, rotate the engine clockwise with a 19mm from the crank shaft or the crank pulley, and then just tighten up. Go around, tighten up these 10mm bolts. There should be a total of 8 of them. Right tight, left loose. Go right tight. Okay, just hand tighten them. Pretty sure it's only like 10 to 15 foot-pounds. That's it. The next thing you want to do is put your shifting cable back on, which is going to be this part right there. I'm going to try to do it with one hand.
goes in like this. Try not to cross thread it. If you guys can see, try to focus on it. But you're just gonna go right, tight, and then when you're done tightening it down, bend one of those tabs back. That's the lock. There. I hand tightened it. After you have tightened down your shifting cable, your two 10mm bolts here, your 10mm bolt here, and the little lock, and then you go around, you tighten up all your 10mm bolts on your flywheel here. There's 8 of them. Then you put your covers back on. Put this cover back on, and put this cover back on.
You want to install your exhaust manifold, tighten down these 4 12mm bolts, nuts I mean, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the other side here. Do not put your oxygen sensor in yet, because you have to put your heat shield on. Tighten down the heat shield bolts, which are 10mm. Then you could install your oxygen sensor. Then remember to install and to loosen and tighten your oxygen sensor. I recommend this socket right here, because it has a slit for the wire. It's a 22mm or 7/8. Then after you tighten all this down, plug in your harness for your oxygen sensor. Then if you want, you can do this first or last, it doesn't matter. Go down there and tighten up your exhaust manifold to the downpipe bolts right here. These two, they're spring loaded. And that should complete your exhaust system. This is the back of the engine. The exhaust is right there, the exhaust manifold. This is the VTEC, the variable valve timing solenoid. You want to go ahead and plug in all your sensors, and wires. And then this harness right here, there's a very last harness right here that goes to the oxygen sensor, the one that goes down here. This top oxygen sensor, the top one right here, it gets plugged in to the back over here, this wire. Okay. This is the passenger side engine mount, the mount that goes on the front cover. This is the JDM one. It came off the JDM engine. You cannot use it, it will not work, because you have to use yours. Because if you guys notice, the part that the engine sits on, the bracket, it's too high. See the gap? It'll push the engine up too high. So you need this one, your OEM, your original. And then I recommend using your original bolts. But this is the JDM, and this is my original USDM. I'm using this one. This is the transmission mount, the driver's side. Okay, so I'm gonna reinstall this back onto the car. It goes right here in this area. Okay, so these 14 millimeter, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. They sit up against the fender, up the inner fender right here, or the sidewall, whatever you want to call it. Then you got 3 17 millimeters. You got 1, 2, 3. They sit on the transmission itself right here. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Just like this, just like that. Then the bolts go on there, just like that. If you guys notice, this transmission mount is cracked, the bracket. I will let the driver know. But as for now, I'm gonna bolt it down. Like I said, these are 14 millimeters. These are 17 millimeters. So I'm gonna bolt them down. It's time to put the original alternator back in. This is the original one off of this car. The JDM motor did come with one, but we're not going to use that one. We're going to use the original one. The original alternator right here. The top bolt, 12 millimeter. Then the bottom bolt right here, 14 millimeter. And this is the one that goes all the way through. All the way through here. Then the 12 millimeter bolts right here. So set it in there and tighten those 2 bolts in. We got the alternator back on. I hooked up the alternator, reconnected all the wires. Now, before I finish up this side, the belt and all that, I want to finish up this side with all the electrical and all the components. So like the ignition coils. I asked the customer to bring me new spark plugs. I recommend new spark plugs, so I'm going to install new spark plugs. I'm going to reuse the old coils, but we're just going to finish up all the electrical. So like that box, hook up, finish those 2 wires right there, reconnect those wires, the ECM right here. I didn't mess with the transmission. We didn't unhook nothing from the transmission. We're just gonna finish the electrical, and then your fuel lines, your breather lines, your brake booster lines, make sure those are plugged in. Reconnect the coolant lines. Then we're just gonna, like I said, finish the electrical. You wanna insert the radiator now. The radiator goes back in right here. Be careful. Before you put the radiator in, you want to reconnect the 2 automatic transmission cooling lines, this one and that one. And then remember the 2 10 millimeter bolts that hold them in, the little bracket. When you put your radiator back in, it goes into these 2 big circles right there. It sits in those slots. Okay, you're gonna have two rubber grommets. They sit in that slot. And then reconnect your fans, your cooling fans right here. These 2 wires. Reconnect those. Then don't forget your bottom radiator hose. This one goes to the bottom. It's gonna come this way to the thermostat housing, to the thermostat. So this will be your cooling system. Then when you put your radiator in, you're gonna have these 2 brackets on the side. They're like little triangle shape. They hold the radiator in. So I'm gonna install all that, what we just went over. And then we'll keep on going. The car is almost complete. All the electrical, the ECU or the ECM is plugged in. All the electrical is done. The only thing I'm waiting on is the customer to bring me just the finishing parts. Like I said, new spark plugs, engine oil, transmission oil, and coolant, and a serpentine belt. But everything is complete. Power steering's on, alternator's on, AC compressor's on, tensioner's on. It's pretty much done. Put your battery back in. Radiator's already in, tight. Yes, everything is done. I'm just gonna put the finished putting the intake manifold on. And whenever you take the intake manifold off, I highly suggest getting new gaskets. This is the gasket right here. I got this at the auto parts store. It's 15-12024-01. This is the intake manifold gasket. And then also I took off the throttle body, so I'm going to replace the gasket also. This is the throttle body gasket, 71-16589-00. Then put everything together, start up your car, test drive it, make sure there's no check engine lights. You have completed an engine swap on your Honda Accord. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. My number one rule, always be safe, guys. Safety first.